Well, hello again, it's Trudy here from Hot Patterns, coming to you this time not with a tutorial or any kind of sew along, but really just a little show and tell for our beautiful new pattern, the Fast and Fabulous Shirt-Tail Tees. We've got in this pattern 3 versions of one t-shirt, and I wanted to quickly go through with you what they're about, how to do them, and why you really should be making these. So here we go. Now when you look at this pattern, you'll immediately see that there are 3 different variations for you, and I've got all 3 of them here. I am wearing the plain or the solid front. This is the pieced front, obviously in stripes, and this is the pieced front with ruffles, and I'm going to bring the camera in a moment so you can really see it very, very close up because it's really useful to see it. And I really wanted to show you these more so you can see how very different the same pattern can look when it's made in different fabrics. That, of course, is the whole point of it. You don't want something that's going to look the same every single time you make it. That would be dull. So yes, and the other thing I wanted to show you was I wanted to come in very, very closely and show you how we do the neckband on this. So I actually filmed it while it was in process, so I'm going to edit that in and you'll be able to see it. But basically this is done in a completely different way to how we normally do our neckbands, but still a very, very useful way to do it. And I have to say it's not my invention, wish it was, but I wish I could also remember whose invention it was. I saw it somewhere on a blog or on a sewing blog somewhere, and somebody had worked out this method, and it's great, it's really, really good. So if it's your method and I haven't mentioned you, I'm very sorry, I wish I knew who it was, but it is beautiful and you'll see when I come in very, very close up. So I thought I would show you really roughly how we put on our neckband on this particular style, because it's not the method that we usually use. So here's what we've done. This here is the right side of the garment, and this obviously is our neckband, and it's been applied so that the seam is on the right side, not the wrong side as usual. You can probably see that I've cleaned the seam off here with some overlocking, partly to neaten it and partly so you can see it better because it's, you know, a bit of a contrast. Okay, once you've got your neckband on, you're going to press it that way, the seam's that way, and then you do this little sneaky thing where you fold it down over your seam allowance. And if you can see over here, I've pinned it down into position. Now, once you've done that, you'll find that the seam allowance here fills out your neck binding, and you're just going to top stitch it all the way along here. Looks really, really good. It's not our usual neckline method, but on this particular style, it works beautifully. Well, now I've actually gone ahead and top stitched it, I thought I'd give you a really, really close shot of this. That's how it looks when it's done on the outside. You get a really lovely kind of ready to wear style finish. This is what it looks like on the inside. You can see it's still nice and neat, just 1 row of stitching there, and it works really, really, really well for a top like this, where you just want it to kind of lay nice and flat. And as you can see, as I said to you earlier, the seam allowance that you've used to join this one fills out this binding really nicely. So that's how we're doing our neckline binding for our rather beautiful Fast and Fabulous Shirt-Tail Tees. So I will quickly explain to you why we did this particular t-shirt. This really is based on one that I made some time ago, and I made it kind of quickly. I made it freehand, didn't use a pattern, cut it out, made it, and just wore it. I can't remember why I did that. I think I was in a rush and maybe backed up with laundry or something, and didn't have any clean black t-shirts, but I wanted a black t-shirt, I cut one, I made it, and I found in the following weeks and the following months that I was reaching for it all the time because it just worked. It was shapely enough to not be kind of, you know, blocky. It was loose enough not to be hot. Of course, I live in a hot climate. And it just worked. It just really, really worked. And so I decided I was going to reverse engineer it, sort of take my sample and work back from there. And that's exactly what I did. And then I saw the version of this one. And if you look on the J. Crew website right now, you will see their striped t-shirt, which is actually with set-in sleeves. And I thought it was brilliant. Anything that gives me another reason to do another kind of striped t-shirt, I'm all over it. So that's how this one kind of came to be. We wanted the plain one, wanted the pieced one, and I also wanted like a girlier version with the ruffles, so it's all worked out beautifully. So now let me zoom in closely, show you the actual piecing, and you'll see what I mean. Now I'm really hoping that you can see the beautiful ruffles on here, because I did deliberately make this up in quite a dark t-shirting. This is kind of a charcoal grey, almost black, with white heathering through it. And I did it in quite a kind of a, a tough colour, because I wanted to show you how even if you're adding what I would think is a girly thing, like a ruffle or a frill or something, you can still make it look quite tough and quite kind of cool. It doesn't have to look very, very feminine, unless that's the look you want, in which case go for it, I say. So this one is done with just the ruffle edge left unhemmed. You can do this with knits because they're not going to fray. If they curl, you're probably going to want to, hem it, but this one doesn't. And it's a very, very lightweight knit. It's much lighter in weight than the striped one. The striped one's much heavier. This is actually the perfect weight knit for this, although I have to tell you, this particular one misbehaved like, oh, can't even begin. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I didn't hem the ruffles, didn't want the grief, but it works really, really well. And you can see that it just kind of gives a nice bit of texture to the front of the t-shirt. Doesn't look so, done, but it has got a nice bit of texture, and that's really going to be very flattering to wear. So I believe I did promise you a little close-up of these so you can see how they look, because they're just kind of very dark and it's not always easy to see them. But that's not a bad thing, it just means you get texture here. Now, I know I already said, or I may have already said, I didn't hem the ends of these ruffles. You don't need to, because they're not going to fray. And a ruffle is different from a frill. A ruffle is not gathered onto the garment. It's quite flat through here. So it's cut like a semicircle. So what I would tell you is this: when you are putting on your ruffle, you're dealing with a knit, which has got stretch, and it's been cut with a circular edge. So it's going to stretch like a maniac. Do not be alarmed. Simply ease time as best you can. If your knit is very stretchy and misbehaves itself, you may end up with a little extra either side. Don't worry, chop it off. But you should be able to get it on okay. I certainly got these ones on okay. So yeah, that's our ruffly feature. Pretty cool, and doesn't look too frilly and girly, unless that's what you would like. Now, if you look at my stripy version, which incidentally looks fabulous, you will see that the stripes they follow the seam, and that's a really, really good thing to do if you're using horizontal striped t-shirting, partly because people often get a little bit worried about striped t-shirts making them look a bit chunky. They really don't, but if you're worried about it, this is a brilliant trick, a really, really good trick to use. It's also good for minimizing a generous bust, if you want to do that. All you need to do is make sure when you cut it and when you sew it that you're sewing right along the edge of what I call your dominant stripe, so your darkest stripe. That's what's going to make it look really good. So take your time when you cut this out, cut it so your seam line goes exactly on the edge of your darkest stripe, and make sure when you sew it exactly along that. And that's it. It gives you a really, really good finish. You've got this lovely kind of crisscross effect here, and it just makes it look really, really beautiful. Now, another gratuitous close-up of our lovely striped version. Now, I will admit right here and right now I have a slight addiction to striped t-shirts, so whenever I see one like this kind of idea that gives a different, fresh approach, I am all over it. So you can see this one sits really nicely, it just crisscrosses here. This particular fabric is a lot heavier than I would normally recommend for this particular piece, but what can I tell you, I have a stash of this and I'm not afraid to use it. It's got a little bit more heft to it, and it's actually a four-way stretch. You don't need that at all. In fact, for this particular piece, whether it's the pieced front or the solid front, you don't need much stretch at all. It's actually, the knit is really for the drape more than the fit. So yeah, this is about a 7/8 of an inch wide stripe. Very, very useful. You can use them thicker, use thicker stripes if you want. I don't think I'd go narrower than this, but it's really up to you. That's the whole point of sewing. You get what you want. So that is our pieced version. A close-up look at the front. Looks beautiful, and you should definitely make one of these. So that's the end of our very short but very fabulous show and tell for our beautiful Fast and Fabulous Shirt-Tail Tees. I hope it's been useful for you. You can at least see what the garments look like when they're on a body. Really nice, semi-fitted, nice scoop neckline, simple cap sleeve with a little bit of a turn back, shirt tail, easiest thing in the world, and you're going to make about a gazillion of these, I guarantee it.